The infection process is doing something strange to these soldiers. They all have built-in stasis units in their body armor. The infection is merging the stasis unit into their flesh or something.
Hi, this is Buster Graham, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFXTV. I'm Billy Boudreaux, being joined by the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, the illuminous one, the shining star, Rick Star. Rick, how you shining?
I'm doing right, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're going to be talking about Impact Wrestling for the week of May 2nd, 2013. We opened up with the confrontation between Hulk Hogan and Sting. They both kind of talking about it, and Hulk Hogan actually manning up, saying that, he made a mistake pushing Sting away when he should have kept them, near him, which is something I would probably never say to another man.
Especially after this situation with Heather Clem.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know who that is, we're not going to tell you. But anyway, next thing you know, we have Matt Morgan coming out. Morgan, saying, when are you going to make things right again? And when are you going to name me the number one contender? And Hogan replies, you know what? No more handing out for, if you want a spot, you're going to have to earn it. You want the number one contendership, you have to beat Sting in a match tonight. And if Sting wins, he's the number one contender. And it just really, to me, really spoke volumes as to where they're going to be going with this, and really need to say it at the time. But as far as promo wise, I thought it was okay, 3.5 out of 5 on that opening promo. Rick, up next, we had another X Division match, which to me has been one of the few bright points in this week's act. And not only that, but we saw the return of Chris Sabin, and we were both in agreement at that time. It was Chris Sabin, Zema Ion, and Sanjay Dutt, and we were both in agreement when we saw it that Chris Sabin, good to have him back, and he looked in phenomenal shape.
Yes, he did. It was an excellent match. Not only that, we also saw the return of the X-Cam. Unfortunately, it was a dorky-looking hat, but I still like the spots of the cam, which is still a new thing that you don't really see in anywhere on any wrestling TV show, which is, of course, right now only on TNA and WWE. But still, it's still unique. It's interesting. I like it. It gives you spots on that you don't see anywhere. As I said before. Anyway, getting back to the match, Chris Sabin looked excellent. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets that run, which he did get the win. He hit the match with the Cradle Shock. Yes, people, it is called the Cradle Shock. He did get that win, and I could even see him capturing the X Division title. That's my mark. I'm gonna call it.
Hashtag shame on Taz. What was your score?
I have to give that a 4 out of 5.
Next up, for some inane reason, we had a 3-on-1 handicap match. Robbie and Jesse Goddard. Apparently, Jesse now has a, Jesse and Tara now has a last name. It's Goddard, and for some reason, now they picked a problem with Rob Terry, and now they brought in Joey Ryan into this equation for some other reason. And it just basically made Rob Terry look like a beast when Joey Ryan, Jesse Goddard, and Robbie E pretty much got their butts handed to him. It was basically 3 jobbers against 1 mid-carder at best. Rob Terry still looks in great shape. I don't know why we had to see Joey Ryan oiled up in pink. Don't even know why Jesse Goddard is still in TNA, because he's pretty much not relevant because he's not with Tara anymore. And Robbie E, well, Zack Ryder's gimmick is dying, therefore your gimmick is dying. 2 out of 5 at best. Austin Aries and Bobby Roode came out to cut a promo for their number one contendership match that was coming up next week against Bad Influence and from a Daniels Kazarian, which prompted Daniels and Kazarian to come out, and they started exchanging some words. Not going to go into too much detail as to what was said. And then that prompts Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez, the current tag team champions, to come out, and they said they talked to Hulk Hogan, that they made a statement, and they also made an announcement that was going to be a special guest referee for their #1 contendership match. Now, at first glance, just like I was thinking, just like Rick was thinking, we both looked at it, and so did Austin Aries, Rude, and Bad Influence, saying, which one's going to be Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. But then they make the announcement that it's Cowboy James Storm that's going to be the special guest referee. And Rick, I'm just left scratching my head, wondering what the hell is TNA doing?
Well, I think the reason why they did this, it's simply because there's so much history between all of them, between James Storm, um, between a Bad Influence, and between Bobby Roode, because they were all a part of Fortune. So I guess they probably added them in, and they figured, hey, mix it in. And Hernandez, of course, is also not really a TNA original, but he's been with the company for so long, so we figured,
Yes.
why not? And not to mention, let's be realistic. At the moment, he doesn't really have anything major to do, so we figured give him something to do, so he doesn't kind of look like fail on the wayside, so to speak, maybe.
Hmm.
So that's my thought.
Well, yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, the history of all four of them, with Aries, no, not sorry, not Aries, with Rude, Influence, and Cowboy James Storm and Fortune, it really does kind of fit. Um, early, I'm going to give the promo 4 out of 5. I really like Aries and Rude on the microphone. Bad Influence are always great to hear them on the microphone, and just hear what they're going to say next is always entertaining, to say the least. And I still don't understand the neck scarf. Maybe it's just me, because I'm a redneck. I'm from Louisiana.
No,
It's
no, I'm a Yankee, and he needs to lose the
the neck. y-
scarf.
Yeah. But as far as the promo, I thought it was really good. Now, Rick, earlier in the night, D'Lo Brown swore his colors to Bully Ray, leader of Aces and Eights, saying that he would take down Kurt Angle. Saying that he was the main reason why Wes Briscoe had those victories over Kurt Angle before, but it was because of the interference that was run in by D'Lo Brown. So D'Lo Brown swore his colors to take down Kurt Angle. Now, before the matchup even took place, Rick, D'Lo Brown decides to make to propose an added stipulation into this match, that it would be an I Quit match. Now, Rick, looking at this match, did that stipulation actually make the match more entertaining? And what did happen? Who did say I quit?
Well, it was. I wouldn't say it made it more entertaining. It just came to be down to just a simple submission match. I thought, ooh, an I Quit match. We haven't heard of an I Quit match in a while, so I thought this was gonna be an all-out brawl. It was just gonna go everywhere. We saw Aces and Eights kind of come down, but they kind of just stood their ground. I'm like, oh, great. These guys are just gonna come in and they're just gonna, make Kurt Angle and they're gonna take him out. But that didn't seem to happen. We saw Mr. Anderson's, they were going to get ready. Some of the guys were going to come out, and Mr. Anderson's, you stay there. He swore his colors. And so I think that's what he was going to do happen. And we saw Kurt Angle take out D'Lo. He put him in a couple of ankle locks, and a couple of times D'Lo did get out. We saw D'Lo in true form. Um, but eventually, Kurt Angle got him in the ankle lock. He grapevined the ankle lock, and that's when eventually he did say, I quit," and that was it. And again, the Aces and Eights just took his member and they left. That's the funny part. So it was a good match. I wouldn't say it was a 5-star match for an I Quit match, because most I Quit matches are usually 5 stars. So I really don't have to give it a 3-star match.
Now, it was made known earlier in the night of a 6-man tag that's going to be taking place next week, TNA versus Aces and Eights, and it looks like Sting was in charge of making a team, and he's already gone to Kurt Angle earlier in the night, and Kurt Angle has said yes. Now, Kurt Angle, after this match is over, calls out AJ Styles and gives AJ Styles an ultimatum. He's got 1 week to decide on whose team he's going to be on, because Angle really wants AJ Styles to be on his team, and if not, then Angle and Styles will have problems, and they've had quite rivalry in the past before in TNA. So I'm looking forward to really where they're going to be taking the AJ Styles character next. But next up, was a matchup I thought would be somewhat interesting. Well, let me get to it. It was Taryn Terrell and Mickey James taking on Tara and Gail Kim. Of course, TNA. They're all celebrating. The TNA Knockouts website. They're talking about it, and they're all up in arms about it. And no, I want to say this: about 99% of the time here on WGS-TV, and wherever you listen to our commentaries and reviews, you guys always hear me say good things about the knockouts. And now they weren't really botchy in this matchup, to say the least, Rick. But the fact of the matter is that the tag match in itself was just bland to the point where it was putting me to sleep.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on this one. This match, there was nothing really wrong with this match, but there was nothing really right about the match either. And I have to say, it was still better than your typical WWE Divas match. But again, it didn't pop, unfortunately, so to speak. And that's just what it was. There was just something about it just didn't grab you. Maybe it was just from the rest of the night, or maybe we were just too busy looking at the chicks than we were looking at the match. Who knows? Call me
Guilt,
bad, guys, but that's just what it was. Just something about the match just did not grab me.
guilty. But I have to give it a 3 out of 5. Now, I can understand the reasons for wanting to push Taryn Terrell, give her the win, and keep giving her the win. Working her into the storylines and trying to give her as much of that pop and momentum as they can. So I could kind of understand why they had Taryn Terrell pick up the victory in the tag match. But like I said, I have to give it 3 out of 5 because, like I said, normally, you hear me sing the praises of the TNA Knockouts. Not only are they gorgeous, but they know how to wrestle, and about 95% of the time, they do put on good, exciting matches that actually pique my interest. But however, for this matchup, my interest just wasn't piqued. Like I said, it was just bland to the point where it was putting me to sleep. But let's get off of that. Yeah, I'm getting off the knockouts, believe it or not.
In more ways than one.
Oh god, I can't even believe I said that. Anyway, the main event time. It was Sting taking on Matt Morgan with the winner to challenge Bully Ray at Slammiversary for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, a lot of fans thought this was a good match, but a lot of fans are still questioning, really, Rick, on why are they putting over a man such as Sting when, no disrespect to Sting. Sting's had a phenomenal career, but is he really necessary? Well, now I say necessary, then yeah, he was kind of necessary in the storyline. If you think about it, it was Sting who got Hogan to trust Bully Ray in the first place when he needed to. So, but is there could this storyline now? Sting defeated Matt Morgan. A lot of fans were really calling out. I even saw it on Facebook, and a lot of fans were calling Sting out for the terrible job on the Scorpion Deathlock he did on Matt Morgan. And I'm like, okay, have you seen some of Rock's recent Scorpion Deathlocks? AKA sharpshooters, especially the one he did last year with John Cena at WrestleMania 28, which was utter crap.
Well, you know what? I'm going to stop you right there. There's two reasons why I think people called out Sting. Was one, Sting has been using the Scorpion Deathlock, which has won him infamous amount of titles. That's been
Yes,
his finisher.
for years.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Okay. The Rock is kind of more of a signature, which has been kind of just an extra move, a wear down move, so to speak. Where Sting, that's been his bread and butter. So for him to get that, and not only to get the win, I have to give it to those people who were bitchy about it, and kind of, even for me, that was kind of like that was a little bit of a trashy move, and that was kind of like yeah.
Yeah, but
Secondly,
yeah, but
go ahead.
Matt Morgan is no small dude. I mean, the dude's like 7 feet tall, over
This is
300
true.
pounds.
I can give you that. But again, also there's the issue that that Sting's a little bit of an older guy, where I think it's time to pass the torch. Don't get me wrong. I am a huge Sting fan, and I've always been, through and through. I've watched Sting all the way down from when I was a kid, when he first won his title from Ric Flair. And you know what I mean? This is back in WCW days.
The Great American Bash, if I'm not mistaken, where he won
Absolutely.
1990, his first title.
Yeah, so I think he has won. Now, I think it's time for him to pass the torch. And I think Matt Morgan whether he was the heel or not, he was talking about all the mistakes and that that TNA has made, and I think it would have been nice for him to to take to get that the number one contenders, and to possibly even be the guy who started taking out some of the aces and eights. I would have liked to have seen that happen.
Score on the main event, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It also ended with Bully Ray, Devon, and Mr. Anderson, the three guys who are going to represent Aces and Eights next week in the 6-man tag, surrounded the ring with Sting, and Bully Ray saying some words to Sting, even though it wasn't on the microphone, and that's how they pretty much ended it from there. Overall score on Impact Wrestling this week, it's going to get a 3 out of 5, basically. It was a very bland, blasé show. Like I said, there were only a few bright points. Hulk Hogan, Sting, and the Matt Morgan segment to set up the main event, I thought it was okay. Good to see the return of Chris Sabin in defeating Zema Ion Sanjay Dutt again. Taz, it is not a twisting Fisherman's Buster. It is the Cradle Shock. Do your homework. Rob Terry defeating Joey Ryan, Jesse Goddard, and Robbie E. Do I really need to talk about that? Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, and with the bad influence, and Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez promo where they announced Cowboy James Storm as the special guest referee for the number one contendership match. I guess it was okay. I always like hearing these guys on the microphone. Kurt Angle defeating D'Lo Brown in the I Quit match. I thought it was, somewhat okay. And of course, then we had the ultimatum laid down by Angle towards AJ Styles. Terrence Terrell and Mickie James defeating Tara and Gail Kim. I still like the knockouts, but to me, it just really didn't do it for me this week. And then Sting defeated Matt Morgan. I know a lot of fans are upset about that, but to me, storyline-wise, Sting would probably be the better fit against Bully Ray in the main event than Matt Morgan. So my overall score, Rick, is a 3 out of 5. What about you?
Yeah, 3 out of 5. That sounds about right for me. That might be giving it a little bit, but I'll stick with a 3 out of 5. Definitely the match of the night was no doubt was a triple threat. Chris Sabin, like everybody said, hey, hail Sabin. Glad to see him back. I would like to see, maybe even the Motor City Machine Guns come back and maybe try to revamp this tag team division that's been kind of like defunct almost. But for right now, I'm just glad to see Sabin back. I think that the Kurt Angle D'Lo Brown wasn't too bad of a match either. Although again, for an I Quit match, they just should have left it at a submission match. No, just done it that way because a night match always raised the bar a little bit higher. That should have been a 5-star match, and it wasn't.
So what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Impact Wrestling this week. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rick, where can fans check you out on Hardcore Wrestling Radio?
Right now, we have a Facebook page at facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And of course, we do have our occasional pickup show, and that's on Spreaker.com/HWR Media.
And also, don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZephnixTV Network. So with that being said, for the illuminous one, the shining star, Rick Starr, I'm Double B Bully Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.
Stoke Artist. Stoke Artist. Stoke Artist. Stoke Artist. Spirituals meaning Stoke Artist. Stoke Artist. I'm Haley Ringrose. Stoke Artist.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
Spirituals meaning Stoke Artist.